Today, I want to just have a discussion for some time about how to create good websites. Websites are a very important component of any institution, and sometimes these websites are not developed in a right and good way. I generally go through all forms of websites, all kinds of websites of institutions. Some of them are very good, some of them are not well designed and created and orchestrated. Now, I don't know how to put it in a crisp way. I have got a lot of points written here, but today my general discussion would be how to create good websites. I used to be a professor of information science and still subjects for quite some time. Website, definitely the design, creation, and hosting websites is largely an information science domain activity. Please understand this very clearly. If websites don't follow the principles of information science, they will not be effective. Now, having said that, what are the two most important concepts from information science which website creation can adopt or must adopt or must incorporate? Two things. First thing is that any website must be compatible uh, with the general, how to put it, not just any website or any information system for that matter, must be compatible to the human environment. A very important concept, must be compatible. What do you mean by compatibility? In just one line, a website or any information system for that matter should not create strain or other kinds of costs for the individual who is viewing the website. What do you mean by that? It must not create a strain on his biological system like eyes and ears, his brain, which is processing information, and it should not be discouraging to the individual who is watching. It's a most important concept of information science. Any information system should be consonant with the way we human beings work, operate, think, see, feel, perceive, understand. The very important concept of information system. Any information just does not be compatible, then that information system will never be accepted by the human environment. Most important thing. Our eyes generally has an processing speed. Our ears have got certain kind of processing thresholds and barriers. So do our other organs, our general activity of perceiving, thinking, processing, and judging the activities of the human system. The first principle is of designing a website is that a website must be compatible to the human environment who is seeing or aspiring to get information from the website. Every morning when you read the newspaper is also an information system. It brings news in a written form to your house. Every morning you feel happy reading the newspaper because newspaper is compatible to the human environment, to the human reader. There is color in it, there is right kind of font in it, there is right kind of text in it. It does not detest the individual environment. It is compatible with it. So point number one is that when you create a website, you be very careful to see that it synchronizes well with the human environment in which it is going to operate. And point number two is that any information system must not create information overload. So important thing, very important thing. Overload means there should not be information so much into it so that the people feel strained or feel right. What is not strained? People don't go through the entire text of information just because there is overload of information. Any website must give concrete information. Concrete means an information that does not need reprocessing in a human compatible form to the human viewer or the human aspirant who wants some information out from the website in a consonant and comfortable manner. If any website does not follow that principle upfront, that website is a failure. No one will want to see the website. Recently, I was seeing website of a college. That's what made me make this forum, gave me the impetus to make this session. When you put the web ID, I saw a slideshow which goes very fast. Some 25 slides going very fast. No one can look at that website because it's not compatible to the human environment which operates. Can I see 25 slides which changes every 1 second? I don't get there's no information comprehension at all. I'm not able to understand what's happening everywhere. And you see upfront the whole information website or information system website is not compatible for human viewing. Then I went one ahead, step ahead on the website. I saw the font size to be very small. Practically, you will have to strain your eyes to read it. And then I saw some went to enter some text of the website, and I was surprised to see that the contrast is so bad. That means the background and the color of the font, color of the text, blurs the whole thing. That it takes me Thomas trying to read what's written there. I don't know. Many institutions around the world are guilty of creating websites. Even some of the most so-called professional and elite institutions of the world are guilty of not creating good websites. To my understanding, any institution is as great as the website it creates. There must be thought into it, and there must be it must be simple, compatible, friendly, and should be so well organized that when you see the website, you must feel a sense of respect for the institution because they have designed such a nice website which is compatible to human viewing, understanding, and comprehension. No, that was the impetus because I saw website was not impetus for me to make this lecture. Now, what are the? Well, I don't want to make it a very formal kind of an academic kind of a lecture. Just see that tomorrow when you guys, anyone who is in the profession of making websites, my yearning or my desire is that the whole world who would more probably ultimately land up doing this lecture of mine would land up making much better websites which are compatible, and by doing so they communicate what they should be communicating very effective to the larger public, and the people who want the kind of information that they're looking for, they need it in a crisp, they get it in a crisp and useful way, thereby improving the overall economic scenario of this world that we live in. A poor website is a failure even before it starts. People make poor websites because they are not schooled in the creation of websites. A computer science graduate might make a website, but it's not trained in information science. Because it's not creating a website is not strictly a computer science activity; it's an information science activity. So I've told you two principles of creating websites. First thing is human compatibility. Second is that they should avoid information overload. You must give the right kind of information, right amount of information, and not overload the whole website so that people don't get to read or go to things that are really needed. Now, what are the four components around which websites are built? Four building blocks: text, audio, video, and animation. It is basically a multimedia. Website is a multimedia. I must have an intelligent combination of text, animation, audio, and video. It must be the right form or combination. If I get the right combination right, but effectively, what I'm trying to say is that every website must have all these components in it. Only then it becomes complete. Obviously, it has got text, it has got audio, it has got video, and it's got animation. A slideshow is nothing but an animation. I was seeing again a slideshow of one international institution recently. I won't take the name. The slideshow was going very fast, and people are not understanding what slideshow is all about. To the minutest detail, a website should give a person the kind of information which he gets immediately without much need for reprocessing. So I told you the principle of information science on which website should be built. Second thing, I told you the four important more components that any website must have. The multimedia components that a website should have. Now let us come now to how to build a good website for any organization. It is actually a good teamwork. How to build a good website for any organization? First of all, be very crystal clear about the audience to which this information website is targeted to. Most important, who is the audience? If police department make a website, this is the general public. If a college is making a website, it is to a class of students. So it must always happen in mind that the college is being a website for the student population. Sometimes people go through the entire website, don't know how to reach that college, and they have to go for secondary sources to find out how to reach that college. A student ultimately, if he wants to study at a given institution, he must know in a very clear way how to reach that college and places to stay around so that he can come to the institution without much difficulty. Please see, 80% of education students do not know. They have a contact number, of course. I'm not saying no, they have an address, but from a given city or town, it does not. People are sometimes aghast and upset, and then they switch off the website and go somewhere else to find. Let me see other kinds of websites. When an industry is making a website, a factory, the market to which the website is being made is the most important audience of that website. Anything that you make, a website you make, you must be crystal clear about the audience to which that website is being made and design the next of the activity depending on the audience to which it is focused at. Now, how to create websites? According to me, there are two ways in which you can create websites. One is a flat style and the other is a hierarchical style. If the information is very complex, more detailed, it's very elaborate, it is too well, there is a plethora of it, or there is extraordinary content. Then we are generally it's better to use the hierarchical style. The hierarchical style. The information is not much complex. It is not that much elaborate. And they are called simple websites. Which the informations are not very elaborate. We call them as simple websites that can be created through the flat system. The flat system means I will tell what it is. The flat means it's some kind of a flat file. There is no hierarchy in it. When you click something, it goes to something, and that's it. And then you get the information. You come back to some other kind of link. They are, well, in other ways, the profundity is not very high. If you are building a website for an educational institution, the it is definitely comes under the complex character of websites because the information needed there is really elaborate. and then we will have to essentially go into the tree model, or tree model is also called as hierarchical model. Now, I hope I've made some of the initial aspects by and large clear and crisp. Now, how to create a good website? You go anywhere. First, please write all the attributes. Attributes means minute aspects of the organization, all kinds of minute aspects. If I am creating a website for a transport institution like a state road transport corporation, I have to write many aspects: the bus stations, the bus stops, the staff, then the leadership of the top of the institution, the heritage of that organization, various kinds of places to which where I have services. You can think of that. The first job is to get a clear cut idea of all the attributes. This sometimes comes through brainstorming. If you have got a website for a transport institution like a state transport company, ticketing is an important activity. You can have a ticketing link which helps you book tickets. Many kinds of suggestions from public, customer feedback, many kind of such attributes. You must be very careful to make these attributes. You must write it to the minutest detail. I don't know which other kind of institution, educational institution, the head of the institution, the heritage of the institution, when it was started, various departments, various buildings, various sports fields, various cultural activities there, um, any special facilities that you have, the hostels. You must write all of them first. Now, having written that, I think you write some, you can get some 30, 40, or 50 attributes. The canteen in a college institution. Similarly, if you make a website for a hospital, you write all the attributes, all the kinds of doctors you have, the administration there, the kind of work you have done, the kind of facilities you give, the specialities that you have, the staff there, you must the location of the hospital, how to reach the hospital. It's easily said than done. You must sit and make some 50 attributes. The challenge is to make some 50 attributes. The moment you fail at that, you won't get a good website. You must write at least 50 attributes. 50 attributes. Now, I don't know which are the institution that any take any institution. Please write those attributes first. You sit down. So 50 attributes you write. Now, next is you classify those attributes under not more than 6 heads. That is called the horizontal spread of a website. Horizontal spread of a website must not be very high. It must be classified under 6 heads, subheads. Please understand today, if you can link websites to blog sites also, it's very good. But blog sites are owned by private individuals. What they write is not in your control. Blog sites are also a very modern word called blogging. You are marketing using blogs. Modern day, if you ask me what's the most important trend in website creation or the most next generation websites would always be linked to blog sites. And through blog sites, it will be linked to various other forms of multimedia like YouTube and the like. How to reach a given college? You can give it to a YouTube link where some student explains exactly in a 5 or 6 minutes time how to reach a given educational institution. You mean there are myriad ways, more than one way how to reach a particular place, and then there that will explain by the student because you have first-hand experience on that. He will say in 1991 when I first came to the institution, I did not know where it was. So I don't want you to be confused about it. This is the way you go about it. There are 4 ways to reach the institution. Please be careful of these things. Preferably come there at this time. Now, attribute analysis. After you make attribute analysis set, you classify it into 5 to 6 heads. Don't go more than 6 what we call titles under the horizontal spread, and try to arrange these 50 attributes under each of these heads. I think 50% of the work is over. Then think of these attributes in relation to the target audience. Is this all this really very relevant to the target audience? Rationalize it a bit. Remove certain attributes which are not needed to avoid information overload. So, under a given horizontal head, I call this head 6 titles, you can have some, not more than 6 subtitles. Ideally, it be some 4 or so. Again, that's what that profundity must not be that you should not land up in a situation where it's information overload. Again, I'm telling, creating very good websites is an extraordinary activity of art. It's also a science. You follow certain science and then you put. Ultimately, a person must be happy when he sees that website. Now, so much I've said. Make attribute analysis, 50 attributes of the institution minimum. Organize it under 6 titles. Obviously, those 6 titles appear in the main menu of the website. After you organize them, remove few things, keeping in mind the target audience, which where it is not very relevant. Certain things may not be very relevant to the target audience. Is a canteen of a college relevant to the target audience? Yes, target audience is student. Student is wants to know where to have food in the canteen. Where is the canteen in the institute, and very clearly it must be mentioned. There might be something else which are not very relevant. I don't know. You should go to that from case to case basis and see if some of the attributes are not relevant. You should rationalize the set to see to remove some of those unnecessary things under these titles. Then go about developing the website using multimedia. Multimedia means combination of text, audio, video, and animation. Preferably start your website with text. Then go to, you got both audio and video in a video, when you have a video format. Now what I'm making here is a video format, both got audio and video. And third, finally go to animation. Sometimes websites are built the other way around. You start with animation. Animation is not something that a person wants to see. He's looking for crisp information. I will repeat again. After you made 5, 6 titles and organize the attributes under it, then go about building the website with text prominent, audio, video next, and animation in the end. You can build that in form of hierarchy or in a flat structure. I have not told you what is this hierarchical structure. Hierarchical structure means one leading to another, one leading to hyperlinking one to another in a logical way. I don't know how to explain it that to you. It will explain in an educational institution. Suppose in engineering college there are 6 departments. I organize them in A, B, C, D, E, F, G. First would be the architectural department. Then B, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering department. Then goes to mechanical engineering. Obviously, computer science comes out of that after A, information science. I'm organizing it using some logic of A, B, C, D until I get all the departments in place. Obviously, let's sort under departments. I go to the electrical department. Just give an example. Electrical department. Um, when I go to the electrical department, I go to the people who run the department. These are all the faculties and all those things. And maybe I've got a link from their hierarchy. Go next to the various kinds of labs that are available there. After that, you go to another kind of video if you can, where a student is talking about his experiences in this electrical lab and what to do's and don'ts and what you can do in a express way. Then go to the final list of some kind of animation where you have a slideshow which operates in a very apt way. Every slide should hold on for 3 to 4 seconds. Not go in a this thing way. This creates the very first principle in information science. It creates incompatibility with the human environment when it's operating. If you can make a slideshow of various aspects and with again with an hyperlink, if I click on the slide, it goes to some other text information very quickly. You've got a beautiful website in place, a beautiful website. When I make a website of an educational institution, the heritage of it also comes. Heritage means when it was started, who started it, who were the earlier heads of the institution, who were the distinguished people who were there, or many kinds of things which you want to put. It'll have departments, it'll have principal, maybe one if you are along with the text, the head of the institution giving a lecture like what I'm doing for 5 10 minutes in a very lucid and simple way. Communicate in a lucid and simple way. So people get kind of an information that they are looking for in a very comfortable way, in a compatible way. In certain organizations, website may not be complex, just make a flat style and hit into each other. A small hotel, 3-star hotel, there may not much information complexity. But again, you must make good attribute analysis and organize the whole thing under some 6 subheads and then link it to areas 6 subheads and there'll be just one link. There won't be a hierarchical link. Hierarchical link comes when websites are more complex and that can be organized very well. I'm yet to see some, even the best institutions of the world. I go to the websites, I'm not very happy with the way they are designed and created. They're creative and inventive and ingenuous content in it. At least I'm not very happy. Maybe it could be done in a better way. Now, I don't know. I've written certain things here. Here, see, I've talked about vision and mission. Very important thing of education institution. Any institution today in the modern day world, first thing must be vision and mission. What do you stand for? I have seen 99.99% of websites do not have vision and mission. Please put that in the first page, vision and mission. When I click on that vision and mission, it must go in a very clear to a text format where the vision of the institute very clearly said, and the mission of the institution also very clearly said in a text form. If you don't put vision and mission of an institution, whatever you write after that is all no use. This is where I'm telling the websites are not properly focused and organized. Let me see. I made some notes here to see if I don't miss out anything. Font size. You must have the right kind of font size. Now, of course, I've talked about horizontal difference and vertical integration. Don't take that concept too much. Archives and heritage. Yeah, as I said, how to reach. Now, a website should have these things by default. Please listen to this very carefully. I've written this long back. Vision and mission, the infrastructure of the institute, ethos of the institute, facilities, rules, and future plans. And essentially, it must revolve around some of these factors. Vision and mission, I've said infrastructure. When I say infrastructure, both human and physical. Human means the person who is running the board of directors of a company is the infrastructure of the institution. Public must know who are they. So you must give a background of these people who are running that institution. The infrastructure does not just mean the physical infrastructure; it also means the human infrastructure. At any given point of time, who are the humans running this institution? The human beings behind it. And my advice to various companies and organizations is that had as many consultants and people on the board and add them on the website, it adds to the overall aura of the website. People want to know who are running this institution, the credibility of those people. Ethos means what you stand for, facilities what you have, the rules and regulations around the institution works, and also an index of future plans, what you want to do in the future. A state transport corporation to say we are planning to buy 1,000 electric buses, we are going to do that, we are going to build another 25 bus stations, we are going to renovate the existing bus station. Fantastic, fantastic. Posture. Ultimately, any website should communicate the posture of an organization in a very quick way. Posture. The strategic posture of an organization is communicated through the websites. I think I hope I would have been better if I'm able to recap the whole thing. I don't think that is needed. Let me see if I can recap that what I told so far. Use the principles of information systems when you design websites, like it must be compatible with the human environment and there must be no information overload. Point number two, website is a multimedia. You must make careful use of multimedia, namely text, sound, audio, and animation. No. Sound, video, and animation. That's the second thing. In any website, please, as I told somewhere, you please prevent information overload. Means there must not be too much overload of information where people don't understand, they don't tailor what website trying to communicate. Then, of course, I will also add these points. Website, good website, will have the vision of the institution, vision, mission of the institution, infrastructure, ethos, facilities, rules, and future plan. Then you have the logical orientation of website. Give more preference to text, which is of the right font. Then go to audio, video, and finally go to animation. When you're making animation, don't make fast-moving slides. Make slides which will go one to another in and sufficient time for a person who's viewing this website to spend time on that slide. How to create a website? There are two forms: the flat style and the hierarchical style. Create at least 50, write at least 50 attributes of the organization, classified into 5 to 6 heads, called the horizontal spread of the website, not more than that, otherwise create information overload. Then organize in the hierarchy of text, audio, video, and an animation. I hope I've given some insight into this. Website creators in the world can benefit from what I said so that I have excellent and great websites. The beauty of the modern day world, if you tell me, is websites. We never had this 30, 40 years ago. Creation of websites is a multi-dollar business around the world. To my extent, not done in a very, they're done well, very fairly well. Definitely not, definitely not. It takes experience to create much, with time it improves. But still, no one knows exactly what sorts of principles around which creation of websites should work. That's what I try to communicate with you. Thank you very much. This is Pio Subhash from Bangalore, India.